Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. What do I do for you? Right thinkers, put your seatbelts on, strap in. The teacher is about to teach. I got class I'm about to hold today. Hope you enjoy the lesson. Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. Message story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. Numbers looking good. I appreciate you. Hope it's working out for you. Let's go. Right thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Remember that word. Right thinker way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. Enlightenment is to knowing something. You want to be spiritually enlightened, you want to be enlightened with God knowledge. That's what it is. Okay? And my mission is to have all my right thinkers to know themselves with the lessons that I'm giving forth. And today's gonna be one. Let's go. Know thyself. Talk a question, but some of us don't have an answer. My job is to help you with that. So if you don't know you, check me out. I can help you with that. That's why I do what I do. It's for you to know you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. I do. Can't help them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. I teach them. Those are the ones I can help. That's why I do what I do for you. Stay tuned. I got you. Appreciate you too. A person who knows not and believes that they know, all the belief in the world don't change the fact that no, they don't know, and yeah, they're dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep, spiritually. I'm the spiritual alarm clock. I can wake you up with spiritual knowledge of self. That's what I do. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons, they reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I feel like teaching. And I got a few things. I got 3 items I got to work with today. So I'm trying to get through them. I don't take up much of your time, but it's a very informative lesson. I feel good about that. So let's get started with the title, right thinkers. Let's talk about the art of mastering oneself. That's the goal of all right thinkers, to become a self-master. So let's get on the lines of how that can happen for you. I won't stop talking about it, and I want to get to be about it. So this is the lesson. The first thing is every religious concept has their own God concept. Let me run them down for you right quick. Let me start with this. The concept of God of the Confucianism. Okay? What do Confucius say about the concept of God? What the undeveloped man seeks is outside. What the advanced man seeks, right thinkers, is within himself. That's what I'm trying to teach. I agree with Confucianism on that one. Next concept is Buddhism. I'm Buddhist, practice it. So let's see what the concept of God says. If you think the law is outside yourself, you are embracing not the absolute law, but some inferior teaching. Again, if the information you're receiving from somebody who don't know what they're doing, it's going to be on you. That's like going to a church with a bad preacher. Everybody know he bad except the people sitting there in the church that listen to that nonsense. So that's the concept. Okay, I agree with Buddhism. The concept of God is Shindaoism. Do not search in distant skies for God. In man's heart is he found. I like that one because the Egyptians tell you God is in the heart. I tell you, God dwells in the heart. Man got the mind. You put them together, you become God-like, and you become an enlightened being, which what we come here to do. I get excited. When I get the teacher, I get real amped up. So we gotta try to keep my cool. All right. Now the next one, the concept of God in Taoism. They say being at one with the Tao is eternal. That's where the spirit goes if it makes it home, conceptually. The great Tao flows everywhere. It's omnipresent, but to the left and to the right. That means it's everywhere. God's presence is everywhere. Jesus told you, God laid the kingdom out in front of earth, and man don't see it. All ignorant people do not recognize God. You cannot be an enlightened being and ignorant. Okay, don't go together. Next one, the concept of God in Hinduism. They make it real short and sweet. I like their philosophy. God abides hidden in the hearts of all. In the discussion, see, and what I like about the Eastern civilization concepts, they don't argue with the teacher. When the philosophical teacher is speaking from the Eastern perspective, every student sit there and listen. Western civilization, well, what about this? What about that? But you said this. Different how we teach and how we learn what's being taught to us. They make it quick and to the point. Last one, the concept of God in Sikhism. See what they say. Why wilt thou go into the jungles? They're talking about the shaman now. What do you hope to find there? When the shaman get enlightened, he go out and talk to nature. Ancient concepts from Indians. I studied their stuff too. Okay. Even as the scent dwells within the flower, so God within thine own heart, again, back to the heart, ever abides. Seek him with earnest knowledge and find him there in your heart. You ask the Charlotte monk, where's God? He'll say, for some reason, heaven is up there. The concept of the skies is heaven. That's the concept. And it's a physical construct. We have heaven, the skies. That's what we call it. New represents heaven, the covering of the earth. But we get caught up thinking that God resides up there. God resides here. Nature is his playground. We're living in his so much dream, okay? In his conscious. He's all conscious. Let me finish this up and move to the next level. Now, another important aspect of the Egyptian religion and rituals was with respect to Christianity is what? The consumption of the gods and goddesses. What do you mean consumption of God and goddess, aka netters, as a means of becoming like them? You eat, sleep, and drink your God concept. You bring that to your life. I'm trying to take you through that as we go. That's part of this lesson. To learn self-mastery, these are things that you have to do, understand, and be knowledgeable. Have knowledge of. Let me read this last bit. Now, this idea occurs in a limited fashion in certain elements of the Hinduism, we just read that, such as the battle of Krishna and Rama. Egyptian battle was Haru and Set. Everybody has a battle. Sorry about that. And where he defeats the demons, Haru defeats Set, and they become what? Absorbed by him. However, it does not occur with the same intensity and emphasis as in the Egyptian ritual, righteous thoughts, except in the Christian idea of the Eucharist. That feeling where the Christian followers is what? Is to understand that he or she is consuming Christ. You do communion every first, calm down, relax. Every first Sunday, you're partaking, consuming Christ, the Eucharist. Egyptians did that too. They did it of a song. So I get the concept, I understand. I don't partake, but I understand. Moving on. Now, let's get to the big guns. Back in the book. We're doing the Tree of Life. I had one guy text me yesterday. He studied from the Tree of Life. Any questions you got, my man, I got you. But I'm here in chapter 2, doing a few things, breaking down self-mastery. So I got some stuff I picked out personally to get this lesson. Let's go. Now, in certain periods of history, again, we know time is circular, okay, cycler. In different periods of history, different great months. We in the age of Pisces, when it was back in Pisces, Pisces was a strong month, but now we're in Aquarius, so February is a stronger month, conceptually. Now, the cosmic forces are sometimes more or sometimes less what? Accessible. Easier or harder to harness, but they can be harnessed in period of time. with practice, daily practice. Anything can be accomplished with practice, persistence. Now, however, the harnessing of the cosmic forces, Luke used the force for the purpose of what? Performing. Performing. He flying the spaceship. He had to find this, okay? But performing psychic feats, going inside yourself, pulling out the hero, becoming your best self, and performing at your best. Most of us, whatever skill level we have, when we're doing it, we're at our best. And you ain't got to think about it. You just do it. Like the Nikki Nike, just do it. If you got it, just do it. So the whole purpose is to perform psychic feats is never necessary. Why? Nor is it a prerequisite for what? Attaining enlightenment. All that means nothing. Okay, you're performing, that's cool. All right, but that don't mean you're enlightened. Watch this. The highest goal of life is to acquire enlightenment spiritually. Why? That's God. I keep explaining that to you. So, and just because, watch this, you know about the cosmic force. I know about Osiris. I know Isis. I know Haru. Knowing about them means exactly nothing. That does not mean that you have full control of them. Knowing them don't mean nothing. Again, I mastered them. I don't just know them. I am them. You can attain that control of yourself, aka self-mastery, with practice of all your God and goddesses aspects. But that has, but that has to what? Be worked out for yourself. I can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. And yet, even if you can learn it, okay, even if you can learn it, even to a great extent, I mean, you get good at it. Sheedy, you study and get profound understanding, so you are good at it. Watch this. Even to a great extent, that does not mean that you have attained its wisdom. You can have all the knowledge in the world, book smart, but don't have a bit of wisdom because you haven't experienced none of that you read. It's all in your mind. When you have knowledge and you don't implement it and use the knowledge, it's useless. It's like a gun with no bullets. Moving on. There are two important components needed to what? Attain spiritual enlightenment. Two things you need to understand. The attainment of wisdom, of a principle, and the mastery of it, of its use. Yeah. I try to explain it to you. All the God and God, I try to break it down for you. I saw spirit, the soul. That's who you are. I said, coming with that, that's your knowledge and wisdom, intuitive knowledge, knowing things that's internal. Then you got his brother, Set. Set is your ego. Everybody they just gravitate to Set. Set, he just showing you your identity. I'm keep breaking that down, trying to hope you get past Set. You don't want him. You want to conquer him. You got to beat him up, put him in position. He'll work for you. I tried that, gave that concept again. But my point to that is knowing about them don't mean nothing. When you can master and implement them and use them, it means everything. The biggest difference in the world. Let me wrap this up. What I am getting at is that the knowledge of it, the wisdom of the cosmic forces, of the principles that comes first. Knowledge of it comes first, and then the mastery over it. You have to practice it. You have to perfect it. I was a pool shooter earlier in life. My hustle was pool table. Thought I pretty good. Got a few trophies, won some championships, made a few dollars. But my point is, I practiced hours and hours on that table. So when I got on the table to gamble or to compete, it was no difference. That's what I mean by perfecting and mastering something when you get good at it. And the power comes next. Here you go. Once you practice it and get good at it, then you get the power that comes next. So the knowing of it is just the first stage. Get the knowledge of it. That's fine. That's what I give you. I give you that. The rest is up to you. You got to make it happen for you. This is important. Why? Because the outcome could be destructive if reversed. How could it be if a people who put in a drive a car without being taught how to drive the car? Disaster. Okay. What story? I got a stolen car. I was 13. Thought I knew how to drive. I did. But what happened after that to make a difference. I knew what I was doing, but the accident happened when I wasn't in the car. But you do things, okay? Many people like this can produce, perfect example, can produce music without wisdom. Some people got an ear for music. They produce music that is what? Pretty much basic and commercial and egoistic, self-serving. Me. Yeah, we bragging. Rappers. My favorite record, Jocko. Jocko, can you rap? I'm the best in the world. You can bet on that. But I ain't here to put nobody down. But pound for pound, I'm the best around. That's bragging. That's telling I'm getting my pedigree. But that's what we do. It's a reputation. All that's important. Okay, we human. Now to make themselves rich, even if it's injurious to the listener. I mean, if it's dangerous, if it's gonna, we send people to jail, go out to commit crimes. The ones who make the rap songs, they ain't thugs, they ain't company, but that image, again, is all about the image. A wise person, here you go, would produce music, Stevie Wonder, that's what commercially viable and yet elevating. Stevie Blind, he see better than anybody. Why? Because what he brings to life is in his vision. So I understand that a wise person is wise because what? They have mastered the wisdom and the usage of their gift and talent in the case over the force of music. Whatever time you got, football, basketball, when you in that element, you're in your best place. Let me wrap this up. Oh yeah, I'm almost done. Got one more, two more, almost get. Okay, now, but of course, from our perspective of the teachings, the master over the forces in order to what? Use them properly. When? In day-to-day living is important, but the knowledge and wisdom of spiritual enlightenment relating to the things that transcend the world of time and space is most important. If you want to discover the knowledge of the principles of the Kemetic tree of life, they all lead you to what? Understand the entire creation, the entire universe, and understand the entire creation and universe. You understand also the ultimate. What's the ultimate? The cause, the ultimate source that we all said before is Ra. Ra, who emerges from the transcendent nurture, me hurt, etc. I tell you about the high gods. On another level, knowing them means knowing thyself, because the essence of creation is you or your higher self. Again, you see the head, see the body with the two heads, or rule on one side and set on the other. That means set is in you. That's your ego. He ain't going nowhere. He's part of you. You need to control it. That's the concept. Your emotions, your anger, your feelings, your greed, all those qualities that's bad, you need to control them. Okay? Most people are unaware of how what the cosmic forces are driving their lives, ignorant of it. Okay? So they move on in life thinking of life as an uncontrolled, unfathomable river in which they become swept up with no control over their situations in life. Sounding ignorant people going through the motion, thinking they know what they're doing, and it always works out. We see them. This path, watch this, is this path is of mastery over the principles, aka self, represented by each god and goddess, and thereby becoming like them, or rather discovering their divinity, them within you. The outcome is to become Haru, raise your conscious level. But there's aspects that you have to follow to get to him. That's what I'm trying to teach you. For example, if you want to know about sex, and most people they watch this, you get to know about your own egoistic nature. Yourself. Check your own bad character out. Your desires, your fertilities, as well as your illusionary nature of what? Ego, yourself. Knowing about that allows you to know about death. She represents mortality. About the transient nature of life. We know that physically the body won't be here, the spirit don't die, but the body will. But all of these descriptions right now are really superficial. Okay? Why? What needs to happen is that there needs to be a deep study, sheeting, profound studying of what? Each principle. That's all I said. Set, Nephi's, Harut. You need to know them. You need to study them. And you got a whole bunch of more that you can start adding on. Anubis, Mayat, Tahuti. I'm sweating like a pig up here, but I'm getting my thing off. I'm enjoying this. I'm working. All right. I'm like James Brown, the hardest working man in the knowledge business. Where I'm at now. Okay, yeah. Knowing Nephi allows you to know about death, about the transit life, but all of these descriptions are just superficial. Watch this. Where we at? Here we go. And after that study comes reflection. You listen, you hear, you reflect on that principle. And after reflection comes what? Meditation on that principle. Then, as your thoughts have been led, almost done, through this process, you manifest the principle through your what? Physical organs and actions, mind, body, and speech. It means speaking in the way of the principal speak. The principal speak. So if you want to be like Aset, then you speak wisdom, intelligent. You study wise teachings. That's why I'm Aset. You study wise thoughts. You speak them, then you act the way she acts, and you learn how she acts by what? Studying her myths. Again, the myth, the story about her to teach you to learn. And then you what? Apply those ways to what? Your day-to-day life. And eventually you discover her within yourself, whether or not you are a male or female aspirant. The characteristics don't care. You, male or female, you use them, master them, they become yours. That's my lesson. I gotta get a child. I'm out of breath. Thank you.